This is Matt. He's a TA for an introductory physics course. Right now, his students are finishing up a quiz. But soon, Matt's going to have them do group work for the very first time. He hasn't received any training on how to coordinate group work. Will he know what to do? Will the session run smoothly? We'll watch how things progress and learn from what Matt does. Matt has typed up a sheet with 2 problems for his students. While he hands them out, he's asked them to get into groups of 3 or 4. He's actually encouraged them to sit with their lab groups, who they've already been working with for quite a while. Familiarity can be a good thing, since there are certain social barriers that must be overcome whenever a new group of students works together. Get together a good group of friends, though, and they may not be able to stay on task. It's worth considering how you'll set up your group.
Groups of just 2 people, because it looks like some people are missing it, so those groups of 2 you can have.
So I think it's very forward and one element.
Okay. So
Unless you guys want one,
Now the groups have started working. They need some time to look over the question, understand it, and organize their thoughts. For Matt, this means waiting. Many instructors find this to be the most uncomfortable thing about coordinating group work. When they're lecturing or answering questions with the class as a whole, they're up at the board doing something. Cooperative group work shifts the doing to the students. They become active participants in the material, instead of just passive listeners. At the moment, then, Matt isn't the one doing the teaching. But in a little bit, he'll find that there is still plenty for him to do.
Did you guys take chemistry?
At this point, the students are beginning to get their bearings, and they're starting to plan their approach to the problems. Some groups are beginning to ask questions. Each group will have unique needs. Some are just looking for confirmation that an answer makes sense. Others will need help to even identify what concepts relate to the problem.
I suppose, yeah, they're not really doing anything else today. No. So the question is, so we're starting at 5.6.
In many cases, students within the group are able to answer each other's questions before the TA even has a chance to get involved. For many students, this is a much less intimidating way to learn.
So, we kind of don't should have made numbers. How would piece
While each group is working at its own pace, Matt is finding that sometimes they all seem to have questions at once. So how will Matt choose who to help? He wants to make sure he spreads his attention evenly throughout the groups, which can mean putting someone on hold for a little bit. Watch what Matt does.
Could it either be a group problem or a one problem, but we don't know this.
Even when he sees hands raised, he's glancing at the quieter groups to make sure they're on track. When he decides where his help is most needed, he lets the other groups know that he's aware that they need help and that he'll get back to them.
So maybe we have to get a volume from person.
So this isn't going to be a volume expansion.
This might be a good time to point out something about this classroom. Do you see anything that might make this room a bad choice for group work?
I think we should convert 600 grams to kilograms. Then melting it, then raising it from 0 to 10. Okay.
So you have those 3 points.
What should the group work focused classroom look like?
Times 0.5 times 5.
Fixed desks are a big problem. Here, the groups have to sit in straight rows, so it's hard for the people on the ends to be as involved as their neighbors. For Matt, this means he's often standing behind his students, answering questions from above, which really puts him in a position of authority. Remember though, group work is about interaction. Matt shouldn't be acting as an authority who delivers answers when his students have questions. This is an opportunity for students to grapple with the material, to figure out what the important questions are. The TA is there to guide them towards their own realizations. The students lose that opportunity when the answer is delivered to them. It's not an ideal situation, but body language can still help you a lot. Matt can make himself more of a participant in the groups by putting himself in front of the students and crouching down to be at eye level with them. The students have had about 20 minutes to work on these problems, and the room is beginning to look a little empty. Some of the groups worked quickly and finished early. Matt didn't have anything else planned for them, so he let them leave early. That may not have been the best decision. Again, group work is about interaction, and once students leave the classroom, that interaction is likely to end. Matt could have them help other groups directly, or he could have the groups write their solutions on the board. For strong students in the class, a powerful way to challenge them is to have them explain their work to others. Explaining a problem-solving strategy requires students to question the decisions that they've made and leads to a deeper understanding of the material.
Yeah, because I think you have to add the 5.6 plus 7. Does that make sense for you?
Doesn't matter whether it's solid ice.
The blackboard looks a little lonely. Although Matt hasn't been doing much writing in the past 20 minutes, he's actually kept quite busy. A big part of facilitating group work deals with social skills, helping individual students to work together effectively. And that's something that your average TA doesn't have much training to be able to do. But Matt's done a fine job his first time out, and it will only get easier as he gains experience and his students get comfortable with the process. The important thing is, the students are talking and they're thinking. That's something the blackboard isn't likely to get them to do.